You know, people use that expression, you've been on a journey, but you've actually been on a journey.
A 3-year odyssey around 6 continents and trying to figure out, okay, what are you really about?
A journey that began after coming to terms with the loss of his beloved father, Tim Russert, the legendary moderator of Meet the Press, a force at NBC News. But to Luke, a father he adored. Tim died suddenly in 2008, 2 days before Father's Day.
This is a special edition of Meet the Press with Tim Russert.
Senator Obama, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you so much for having me.
No specific reference to campaign finance reform.
Senator Clinton, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thanks, Tim. It's good to be with you.
Luke Russert is sharing his story for the first time in a new book, Look for Me There, Grieving My Father, Finding Myself. In it, he traverses terrain both physical and deeply personal.
This journey begins in many ways with your father's passing, which was a heartbreaking and shocking moment that as a young man, you had to share with everybody.
And it was soul-crushing. It was such a whirlwind.
Luke was just 22 when he delivered his father's eulogy.
I love you, Dad, and in his words, let us all go get him.
I remember being at your father's memorial service, and I can't imagine standing up at 22 years old in that crowd. You're heartbreaking.
It was quite, it was quite nerve-wracking to be up there and you see the face of Barack Obama and John McCain and Joe Biden. And I felt my father there too. So, and I knew I couldn't let him down.
It was a shining moment for you in one of the hardest moments of your life. Suddenly, NBC News says, we see something in you.
NBC came to me. They said, you have a gift. You have a natural talent. The name didn't hurt either.
In these swing states where
NBC hired Luke. He covered the 2008 campaign and later Capitol Hill. We even shared an office back in the day when I was an NBC News correspondent in Washington.
My old office mate.
I know, exactly. Reunited again.
The entire conference is in a holding pattern, Thomas.
It couldn't have been easy, and I know people would criticize.
It was hard. Okay, I'm going to take this criticism, but that means I have to work 10 times harder to prove myself.
Well, you did prove yourself, and that's why it was all the more surprising when you decided to walk away.
I left NBC. I liked the work, but some days it left me empty, and I had to get away from my last name. I had to get away from the world that I knew.
I lost my father as a teenager. You lost your father young, and I know that's always connected us.
It was those first few years where you feel something's missing.
Luke's soul-searching led him to over 65 countries.
I'm so interested in your emotional journey. We can't miss that this is a really entertaining, literal journey through the world.
So I went to places like Vietnam. My gosh, we dropped all these bombs here, but these folks are so loving and forgiving and talkative, and it really was powerful.
Reading about you going to Bolivia, going to a high altitude with very thin oxygen, you have issues with your lungs. That sounded terrifying.
It's like 14,000 feet up almost. And I can't breathe. The place where I was staying, they actually got oxygen for me. It taught me I can handle a lot, and it's okay.
Luke also writes about his complicated relationship with his mother, Maureen Orth, an accomplished journalist in her own right.
You talk about having a little tension with her sometimes, and how did you work that out?
I did some traveling with her. I began to understand her, and I began to realize, wow, this was somebody who was not given anything, had to work so hard for every single thing that she had. I get why you were pushing me so much.
A devout Catholic, Luke says it was in the Holy Land where he found clarity at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem.
And there's the tomb of Christ. I have this very deep meditative state that I go into, and I hear a voice in my head. It's like, go pray. I'm kind of shaking, so I walk out, and I don't know what to do. And I start looking for something, and I see a Buffalo Bills yarmulke. Okay, now I'm not sure, but my father loved the Buffalo Bills. I was like, well, I have to get that. And I said, well, the Western Wall is open. I get this now. Dad's with me. He's been here every step of the way.
And you did tuck a prayer into the Western Wall for your dad.
It's his favorite verse. I have fought the good fight and keep the faith.
Divine.
Divine, yeah.
The book is called Look for Me There, which is what your dad used to say if we get separated at the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
But it's also about you looking for him.
Yeah.
And you found him.
I did. And I miss him every day, but I know he loves me, and I know he's happy, and we love each other.
Well, he'd be so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, he is.
Wow.
It's a pretty incredible read. I mean, what Luke, all the places that he went, but it's super honest about the whole journal. It's very journey, and it's introspective, and he talks about his relationship with both parents, and we're just like, you know, we all love Luke, and we're all so proud of him, and he did a very courageous thing. He was doing really well here and stepped away. And actually, there's a great story in the book. I don't want to give too much of it away, but it's actually the House Speaker, former House Speaker John Boehner, who basically took him aside and said, like, what are you doing
What
here,
are you
man?
doing?
Get out of
What are
here.
you doing?
Wow.
And it changed everything for him.
And to be able to take that physical journey and also the one inside, because I think a lot of people think if I go somewhere, I'll find something.
Yep.
Looking for something, but it was all, he figured it all out.
Yeah,
The title is perfect.
It is.
I love that.
Perfect.
And
beautiful.
the Buffalo Bills yarmulkes are going to be flying off the shelves.
I know.
Oh, yeah. For the Russerts, it always comes back
Listen,
to the Buffalo.
the Lord speaks in mysterious ways.
Yes,
All right,
yes,
Luke's
yes.
book, of course, is called Look For Me There. It is available starting today. Congrats to Luke.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.